Hey guys, Miss Warren here. Today I'm going to be sewing a small pin cushion for my needle as we're sewing monster dolls. So my rule is you always have your needle in your project or in your hand. So I'm going to stick my needle in my fabric. So for this project you need 2 pieces of fabric, a sewing needle, a little bit of stuffing, some scissors, and some thread. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself some thread. I want the thread to be 1 wingspan. That means from one fingertip to the other if you're T-posing. So I'm going to measure that out. It will just take me just a second to unroll it. Okay. Now I'm going to cut the thread. Now if you're having trouble cutting the thread, I let it be tight by pulling next to the spool here, and then I cut the thread with my scissors. Okay. Now I'm going to thread the thread through the eye of the needle. Make sure it gets right through there. I left my glasses today, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. Oh, didn't get it through. Let's try again. See, it takes a few tries to get it through there. It's really small. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to double my thread. I'm going to pull this other end until both ends are even. Okay. So I got my 2 ends of my thread pulled even with each other. Okay, now I'm going to wrap it around my pointer finger until it makes an X. Then I'm going to roll my thread together. I'm going to roll it off my finger, make sure it gets nice and twisted together. And then I'm going to pinch the top and I'm going to pull all the twists until it makes a nice big knot. I want my knot to be fatter than my needle so it doesn't pull through. Now, in my classes, we've already practiced a running stitch. Now we're going to do a blanket stitch. This is a good stitch, very secure for when you stuff something and you're stitching 2 pieces of fabric together. So I'm going to line up my 2 pieces of fabric. They're not cut exactly perfectly straight, but I want them close together. And I'm going to go all the way around the edge, and I'm going to leave this much open so I can turn it inside out and stuff it. So I'm going to start at a corner. I'm going to poke through. Now this stitch is called a blanket stitch. First you pull until your knot stops. We're going to turn our pillow inside out before we stuff it, so we'll hide any knots that are showing. Then I'm going to wrap it around the top like this, and I'm going to poke it through again about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or about a centimeter away from the other one. Okay, as my loop gets small, you see there's a loop here. Here, I'm going to put a white paper behind me so y'all can see this paper a little bit more clearly. There we go. It stands out, the string stands out a little bit more on white than it does gray. So I have this loop, and I'm going to go through the loop, and then I'm going to pull it tight. That's your first stitch. Now I'm going to go just a little bit further than that one. Try to make it mostly even. And then I'm going to pull until I get that little loop. And then I'm going to catch it with my needle. I'm going to pull it straight. This will create a little piece of thread here that will keep any stuffing from poking through and attach the 2 pieces of fabric here. So loop it through, catch the loop, pull it tight. And I'm always going from the back side. Try not to poke your finger. Watch very carefully to make sure you don't poke yourself. Oh, my thread knotted, so that loop's a little bit big, but that's okay. Okay, whenever you need to stop or tie off, I'm going to keep going on this one, and I'm going to come back when I finish stitching all of it except for about an inch. I'm going to go ahead and tie off for now. You're going to catch the last stitch that you went through, and then you're going to go through your loop. You're going to do it 3 times. Last stitch, then through the loop, then last stitch, then through the loop. This knot will ensure that your thread doesn't pull back through, and then you would cut it. You do this whenever you need to reload your thread or when you're done for the day. Always make sure you have at least about 2 inches of thread, so it's longer than your needle, so you can use your needle to tie the knot. Okay, go ahead and get started, and I will come back with the second part where we stuff our little pillow. I look forward to seeing your work.